Well, you just never know. Do you never know what we might be doing? Who knows? Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Did you have a good holiday?
I had a lovely time, thank you.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Because the last ones have always had an element of disaster.
Yeah, there's always been a story, but yeah, no, this one was pretty straightforward, nice. Yeah.
Good. Refreshed?
Yes.
Fabulous? Excellent.
Yeah, lots of vitamin C, D even, so.
All the vitamins?
Yes.
All vitamined up?
All vitamined up.
This is fabulous. We have got this very beautiful thing.
Little pretty.
It is a little pretty. We love a wall hanging.
We do.
We love your wall hangings.
Thank you.
And then this fabric came in and we're like, do you know what? Yeah. If we're not going to have the weather outside, we'll just bring it inside.
Yeah, it seems to have worked.
I know.
Isn't it lovely? Bit of sunshine.
Yeah. Yeah. The kids did not go in with 8 million coats and jumpers and stuff today.
Yeah. It's good.
Winner!
Good.
So we've got a kit for this. It's just the one colourway today.
Yes.
If you love it, you love it. You'll grab it, you'll get it. Perfect. In the kit, Jane,
You've got everything apart from your wadding, including your backing fabric. Hold the front page.
What? We don't normally do it, but we
No.
have with this one because we've got some really beautiful backing. Do you want to just show the backing fabric that we've got?
Yes.
I know
Look.
you're going to show us the whole kit in a minute.
Yeah. Look, it's got bees on it.
Which is so appropriate for this.
Isn't it? Yeah. You'll probably notice it's not bound.
Oh no!
Don't touch
Jane.
it falls down.
Don't touch it. Uh-oh. Do you know what? While you do that, I'm going to say hello to everyone and we're going to crack on because there's not lots and lots of kits and stuff this morning and this could be the world's longest demo, we're not sure. I am going to show you the half meter heavens because we have got quite a few. Some are a little bit different for you today. Now obviously yesterday we broke the news to you that Lisa Chandler is not reprinting the Melba, only the fans. Everything else from the Melba collection, when it runs out, it runs out. We don't have a full collection of it anymore. So it's made us take stock of what we do have and what we don't have in terms of Lisa Chandler fabrics. So yesterday we put up half bolts for you so that if you, quite frankly, just need to get your Lisa fix before it all runs out, then you absolutely can. I'm not touching that, Jane.
No, don't touch it. Don't
I'm
even
not
look at
touching
it from now on.
Don't breathe. Don't do anything near it. That's it. I will get that rail up.
Yes.
But that wall is not great.
No, it's hard to.
I need to get a new drill. Anyway.
I think once upon a time it was possibly an outside wall.
Yeah, no, it just crumbles.
Yeah.
It just crumbles. And then it makes me sad. And then it crumbles to the extent I then have to polyfill it. And then I can only drill into the polyfiller.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Which is why I haven't rushed to do it, Jane.
I don't blame you, to be honest.
Got other stuff to do. Right, so something a little different with some of these. Now this is the last of my, I think this is the pear coloured one.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's really beautiful. And we could have put it, Jane, with just a normal fabric.
We could.
However, what we've actually done is put it with a half metre of velvet, a fat quarter, sorry, of velvet. The velvets obviously are far more expensive.
Yes, but they're wider.
But they're wider.
So it's a big fat
Than our
quarter.
plain. So there might need to be a little price adjustment for these, but just look how beautifully that goes. Do you know what? I am thinking of all the different tubular frame bags that you could make with that as your lining and that as your outer, and how utterly gorgeous that would be.
Yes.
Or any of the pouches that we've done, the velvet pouches, the velvet lined tablet cases.
Yeah.
All that kind of thing where you need a good velvet, here it is. And I just think these work incredibly beautifully together. When these go live on the website at midnight, what we've got is all we've got, and that is it.
There's not much left.
There's not much
Makes
left.
me sad.
I believe the technical term is a squiddly bit.
A squiddly bit, yes.
Now, along that line.
Look at that, that's gorgeous.
What?
Hold it the other way.
This is the fans. We're a fan of the fans. You can get that in a half bolt.
Yes.
But we had a little bit left over, which we've done with pewter velvet.
That is so sophisticated.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't
It would
it?
make a beautiful evening clutch bag, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
Do you know what? We could even find probably some of those iron-on rhinestone things for a bit of bling on the front.
Yeah.
I've got some of those knocking about somewhere. Now, the small floral, Jane.
Oh, I like this. This is pretty.
We both got a bit overexcited with this.
We did a bit, didn't we?
Because I'd been looking at plains for this.
Yes.
I'm trying to pick up the purpley pinky bit in there. And then we're like, oh, have we got the right colour for the flower leafy bits? And then I went, hang on, Joan, what about the velvet?
Yeah.
So the teal velvet, the mint velvet, actually it's mint velvet is what they call it, just works so exquisitely with that. So we had to do it because it would have been rude not to. And we are not rude people, Jane.
Absolutely not.
And this all came about because I was trying to find the right green to go with the last of our Melba tile.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Last of it not being reprinted.
Makes me sad.
Get it now, forever hold your peace.
Yes. We've made some beautiful things with the tile.
We've made some gorgeous things with the tile. And it goes beautifully with the pear velvet.
It's just made for it.
It pairs up a treat. I'm sorry, I will go home now. So they are a little bit different. We're going to have to look at the pricing on those because, like I say, the velvet is way more expensive than our plains, but we'll see how that works. Now, Robert Kaufman brought us this. Some of you bought it yesterday. We have paired it because sometimes, Jane, a grey is difficult to find.
It is.
The right grey.
The right grey.
We've got lots of greys.
We have. We've got several shades.
But the right one sometimes is a little bit tricky. So we've picked out this one. If you missed this on yesterday's show, can I just show you?
Oh, I didn't realise
It's
they were
glow in the dark.
dark. Oh.
It's glow in the dark.
Oh, you
And
can make really fun jammers with those.
You can make fun jammies. You could also make fabulous, because these are all yoga positions.
Oh, right, yeah, of course.
So I want to do Josh some sort of yoga bag. I mean, we're not married, but apparently it would be grounds for divorce if I didn't.
Oh, right, okay.
Before we even get married. So, you know, it's that sort of thing. There is a need and a requirement, apparently, for something yoga-based in that.
Fabulous.
Watch this space. Not quite sure what, Jane. Because we did.
You'd need a lot, wouldn't you, for a mat? You'd need a big amount, wouldn't you, for a
Wouldn't
mat?
be a mat. I might do a yoga bag to carry said mat.
Yes.
And yoga block and all the other paraphernalia, water bottle, car keys, phone on silent so that it doesn't ruin your jobby what's it. You can tell I trained as a yoga instructor, can't you?
Yeah. You know all the technology.
I know all the technical terms. This is your Small Flowers Cream and Orange with, indeed, orange. We have got 2 half bolts. We've got 1 full bolt of this left, that's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can get it. This is your last chance to get it, is as a half metre.
It's a beautiful blender, that one.
It's really exquisite. And if you've got any of these colourways of anything, that's the one that goes with it.
Yeah.
The best, in my most humble opinion. Now, Jane, there was one fabric that you did not use out of this collection.
Yes.
I don't know what's wrong
I
with
wanted to.
it. You took it with you.
I tried really hard.
You had every intention, however.
When I came to the design, it just didn't quite fit in.
Didn't cut the muster. Is that it?
Yeah. Cut the mustard, yeah.
We put it with gold. Love that.
You know, why wouldn't you? It's beautiful. It's gorgeous fabric.
Hang on. There's a mistake on that label.
How is that? Oh, it's got to be exclamation. Should have been in capitals.
I know. It's fine. I will tell Daniela. Any time that we have gold, we have to say it how, Jane?
Like Spandau Ballet.
Yeah. Gold! And that's how it's coming. So when you get it, please make sure you say it like that too. The floral orange and cream is not actually going as a half metre heaven. Do you know what this is going as?
Oh no, what is it?
I was asked yesterday by lovely Helen. She said, what is the Lisa Chandler option for the workshop next month?
Right.
And it's this. So you will be making your round handled bag out of this with that paprika to fold down.
Oh, nice.
with wooden bag handles.
Oh,
or amber
how
if they look better.
lovely. Oh, I think the wooden would be nice, wouldn't they?
Oh, wouldn't it be lovely? So that's... I keep saying we can't sing on the show because Sony will shut us down like they did last time. But we didn't sing. I did point out we didn't sing and they shut us down that time.
No.
Didn't shut us down any other time. We sang.
Maybe it's because our singing leaves a bit to be desired. Unless we're Gemma.
Speak for yourself. This is your Melba small floral in grey and rose. I never quite got to the bottom of why this was called grey and rose because there's no rose in it.
There's no.
None of us understand at all.
But it's pretty.
It is pretty, and this is the last of it.
I love it with that deep grey.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really special. Now, flowering gum orange. Now, we've put this with red. Bear with, there is a reason, because it's an orangey red. It's not red, it's an orangey red, which is the same sort of orangey red that's in there.
Yes, it is. Because Lisa shades her fabric so beautifully,
Yeah.
then there's just so much texture and shading in them. It just lends itself really nicely.
But you see, if you're going for that, you may as well go for that as well.
Oh, yes.
Because, you know, that's what we've designed it for, isn't it, Jane?
Absolutely.
We're not daft. We know what works.
It's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
We've never, I don't think ever, half meter heavened the pink fans because they tend to just come in and go.
Yeah.
However,
hang
we have
around.
popped it with rose because rude not to. And then, Jane...
Oh, that's
I know. But also, please do look at our incredible... In fact, Gemma, I know you're watching. Please... Sounds like a threat, doesn't it? I know you're watching. Please, could you let us know where everybody can find the half bolts that we've got of Lisa Chandler? We have put them on a discount because obviously if you're buying a half bolt, that's only one cut for us.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way that we can sell fabric. So unless you buy the whole bolt, which would be even easier, please. But that's, so yeah, just tell us where they are on the website for anyone that's looking.
Oh, this is lovely.
Yeah. I've had my fill of this now. I've made the cushions, done the stuff, and this is what's left over. Apparently this is no way to run a business, Jane, I'm told. I'm like, why? I just get what I like. What's wrong with that?
You can't sell it if you don't like it.
You can't.
No,
you can't.
You can't.
I can't do that fake loving thing.
No.
Doesn't work. Not in my world. Now this is your Hampton stripe. This is your orange, green and cream. We have put it with cardinal because it's just that deeper red.
It's just beautiful.
Isn't
I
it
love
lovely?
a stripe.
Now.
Ooh.
See how these stripes work, you see?
Yeah.
So you can be playing with all of these.
Yeah. Nice.
And you're in that colour palette. You're playing in that palette.
This is the beauty of
that
Lisa's.
wouldn't be wrong, would it?
No,
either?
it wouldn't.
She's
It's
a very
orange.
clever lady.
Yeah, all her fabrics just blend beautifully together.
Very, very clever lady. She's got a few things up her sleeve, Jane. I'm not going to lie.
Imagine.
We were still chatting at nearly 11 o'clock last night about up and coming things, but they won't be up and coming until July, August.
Oh.
So you've got a while to wait. Could I ask you to just put those away while I very quickly... I'm sorry, that's so rude, is it? Could you just do some housekeeping for me, please, Jane? Whilst I see what Gemma's told me. Apparently we are flying by the seat of our pants, Jane.
Oh.
We stood here going, we've got loads of time, but I forgot to turn the microphones on. Now then. I have put the half bolts in today's collection.
And she's a star.
Yes. So that's that, really. We're all good.
Fabulous. So these go live at midnight tonight, don't they, the half metre heavens?
Yeah.
Fastest fingers first on some of them.
I think it's going to be. I really do think it's going to be. Tell you what, I'll do this. Oh no, hang on. I'm going to say hello to everybody if you're still folding.
Well, yes, I will do that because
because
it's my last chance to stroke some of this fabric.
it feels so beautiful.
It is, it's gorgeous.
And do you know what? This could have gone so horribly wrong. So I first met Lisa over Zoom on, I think it was over Zoom or WhatsApp or something, on a WhatsApp call. And we'd never met in person over lockdown.
No, because it was, well, everybody was...
And she had a whole load of stock that was in America, and she's like, "There's absolutely no point in me," because all the she'd shipped it over there for one of the quilt shows.
Yes.
And she said, "There's absolutely no point in me shipping it all the way back to Australia, but I will ship it to you."
I remember that arriving. It was so exciting. It was
And
like Christmas.
I am a little bit of a gambler. I'm not going to lie, but
It's
it
a
was
good gamble.
quite a
It paid
safe
off well.
gamble. But my word, did I buy a lot.
You did.
I put my money where my mouth is on that one.
Yeah.
And if it had gone horribly wrong, we probably wouldn't have a business.
No.
However, it went swimmingly well, so that's all good. And we still stock Lisa stuff today. Complete respect for the woman. She is incredible. Her designs are phenomenal. She loves gin. I mean, I don't know what else to say. She's got chickens. She's got 3 more chickens than I've got, Jane, now.
Oh.
She went and got another dozen. Because her 3 ones, they were getting a little bit older.
Oh.
Just saying. She's got 3 more chickens than us, Jane.
She's lovely. She's a lovely lady.
3 more chickens than us. Right. Let's have a look who we've got. Becky's here today, Debbie's here, Claire's here. Morning everyone, Jan's here. Nearly caught up with yesterday. No electricity all day. Tree felling.
Oh no.
Rude. Don't ask. Erica says, all I can ask is, yesterday's make, is it going to be digital? It will be digital. I just have to scan in the template. That's all I've got to do. And then we can make that digital. So that can happen today. Jane's here. Well, not you, Jane. Other Jane. I mean, you are here.
I am here.
Yeah, you are here. Auntie Lisa Krangle says, I wish I could buy all of this, Lisa. I love orange. Josh loves orange too. And actually that green is the right green for my sofa. So we've got one draped over the sofa, haven't we? One of those big...
It does look lovely.
Sue says, am I correct in remembering Lisa is going with blue? I mean, I couldn't possibly comment.
She does do a lovely palette though, doesn't she?
blue. Yeah. I have a stash drawer of Lisa fabric, can't bring myself to cut into it. So you top it up so that you can. That's all I can say.
Yes.
Top up so that you can, because otherwise it's going to be gone.
Are you a curator of
Sylv, I
fabrics?
am trying. She says, is there no chance Lisa can be blackmailed into bringing Melba back in the future? If not, you need to start gathering evidence for such a purpose. So when she comes over for a festival, of course, she's going to stay with us.
Oh, lovely.
So I think if we involve enough gin, I can get some photographic evidence of something. But what I would be pushing for, Sylv, is Melba in other colourways.
Yes, that'd be nice.
More of the black and pink.
Yeah, that was very popular.
I don't feel we had that in full. Elizabeth just wants to wallpaper a house in it. Carrie's here. Sue is curating it. That's what she told her husband anyway.
Yes. Particularly as it's going to be out of print, so it'll become a collector's item.
Claire says, but she hasn't got a Dave though.
No. Nobody's got a Dave.
Josh reckons that he's Davina.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I'm not convinced.
Well, you'll soon know, because she'll lay eggs. She'll lay eggs if they are.
Can you have gender fluid ducks?
Why
I mean,
not?
in this crazy world, can we have...
Yeah.
Can we have that?
Well, I don't see why not.
That's fine.
Anyway.
Sylvia's happy to actually supply the gin for blackmailing purposes. This is getting better and better. You know Lisa often watches the show, right? Brenda's here. Good morning, ladies. Managed to find you today. Good morning, Brenda.
It's nice to see you, Brenda. Well, we can't see you, but yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Don't tell anyone, but Brenda's Josh's favourite.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
It's not our
Should we have a look at what we've got here?
Because this fabric's pretty. It's pretty. Yeah, so the flower box fabric came in. It's a Macawa fabric.
It's beautiful.
It's by Renee Nanneman.
Renee
Nanneman, who I always want to say is Nanny Renneman. I don't know why. I always want to mix it up.
Maybe when she has grandchildren, she could be Nanny
Renneman.
Maybe that'll be the one. But in the meantime, Renee Nanneman.
So
if I said that right, now you've got me doubting it.
Yes, it's Renee Nanneman.
Because you now make me call some of our fabric erotic rather than exotic, because you keep misspelling it everywhere. Hey Jane, what are you trying to tell us?
Oh, I don't know.
I know, but I nearly said it on Create and Craft.
I know.
And here's our beautiful erotic fabric. No,
it's not erotic at all.
Not erotic. I mean,
it's just one letter, but for me, it's like
changes
it's not
everything
even next to the on the alphabet, is it, or anything like that? Crazy. And then the more you try not to say it, the more you say it.
And then the more you say it on national television, rather than just your little YouTube channel. Yeah, thanks, Jane.
It's not intentional. No, like, however, it just happens, and then of course you go, oh, no, I can't say that, and then the more you try not to, the more you do.
Yep.
Anyway,
Jane, you've put backing and stuff in this.
I have, because
done?
We have the beautiful Lewis and Irene extra wide fabric,
and it's got bees on it, and I love the fact that the bees now go with the flowers in your bloom, because flowers can only bloom because we have the bees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've got the cream queen bee fabric, and then you're going to get a bigger chunk than this of the bees for the back.
I don't know why they didn't call that bee's knees.
It should be called bee's knees, shouldn't it? I love this fabric.
I will have a word with Lewis and Irene about
You're going to get what we're going to call a fat half, because we're going to cut a metre and then cut it down the fold because it's extra wide.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a 40 by 56 piece of fabric,
chunky.
which is plenty enough to do the backing and have some left over.
You can buy this. If you need extra, you can buy extra.
Yeah, you can buy it by the half metre, can't you? Yeah.
I've just noticed you've got your bee necklace on.
Yes.
Beautiful. What else is in here, Jane?
So we've got
crinkly stuff.
We've got the bonder web, because you've got a bit of bonded applique in there, and a bit of interfacing, because I always like to interface the back of mine before I sew it, just to stabilise it a little bit. Mm-hmm. So that's a little added bonus. And then you've got some of the beautiful cottage cloth, which we're going to use for binding.
We haven't bound ours yet, have we?
I haven't bound ours yet, no.
Because we had other stuff to do, like get everyone's orders out.
Yes, things like that and stuff.
Other holidays.
Yes. So that's your sort of basic bit.
So front, back, binding, all in, just add your wadding.
Yes.
$44.99.
Oh, wow. That's brilliant.
I know, right? And you might have a scrap of wadding that would do that.
Yes. And we all like different types of wadding as well, don't we? So we've got the beautiful bloom cloth fabric in here. There's 7 pieces.
Do you know what? It's just a lovely collection. And then we've got some Renee Nanneman.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jane.
So this pretty floral. You're going to have a fat eighth of all of these. Now, some of it you're just going to have enough, but most of it you're going to have plenty left over for your scrap bag, and maybe do more with it. And I've thought about the panel, and I think you could buy more fabric and put borders around it and make it into a quilt.
Well, so that could be your centre panel.
Yeah, and you could add borders.
Oh, nice.
And if you
you could get
extra
the half metre heaven.
Yeah. Put borders round.
Oh, nice.
And I think we'll have more of these available by the half metre as well.
When you've chopped them up, we'll half metre heaven those next week.
Because we've got, it's only a fat eighth in each kit, so we'll have some left over. Gemma will know. Leave it to Gemma. Gemma knows.
No, because she'll do that whole thing where she said, Natasha, when you said come and work for you, there'd be no maths.
Yes. We've also got some...
I also said she'd not have to be on screen either.
And we wonder why she's off poorly.
She's probably absolutely fine. She's probably on a cruise somewhere, like... As long as I load everything, they'll never know.
Yeah. Bless her, no, she's not very well.
I don't know why we're laughing.
We shouldn't.
We're not laughing about being unwell.
We are proper poorly, bless her. So we've got some nice batik.
Yeah.
Nice bit of yellow batik.
Nice. That's the middle, isn't it?
That's the middle of the flowers. So I thought a bit of texture in there would be nice rather than the plain. We've got some cottage cloth. These two are cottage cloth. And then a bit of our plain. And then some linen texture.
Which plain is that?
It's orange. orange.
Is it? Nice.
So those are sort of like your plain blenders. And then you've got this beautiful flower box fabric. You've got like a pretty floral print. This reminds me of like buttons because of the cross in the middle.
Yes.
We've got that in yellow, orange, and I think it's called peacock, although it's colour tea. It's tea for teal, but I think Gemma said to me, no, it's actually labelled peacock.
Well, they can label it whatever they want.
What they want, yeah.
Teal.
So I've used those for the flowers because it's a small blender fab pattern. The flower box, I've used this one. That's the centre of the flower box.
Yeah, so that's the other colourway of the one we've got as a half.
Yeah, and then the deeper for the around the edge of the flower box.
Yeah.
And then I've done a flying geese border with these two fabrics.
Nice.
And again, you could make your border. You'd need a bit more fabric, but you could make your border all the way around. You could fray it down the sides as well if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have enough of this fabric in the kit.
Okay.
But you can. There's more available.
I'm just going to ask then, Gemma, are these all up by whatever we've got left over that hasn't been kitted? Are they up to buy by the half metre?
Gemma and I did some maths this morning to work out what we could shenanigate, because we always have to go with the least amount of fabric that we have so that we know how many kits we can do.
That's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. No maths here.
No maths.
Gemma says yes.
Well, if Gemma says yes, then everything's fine.
I think she's saying yes to that. I don't know whether that's yes, I'm on a
on a
cruise. Or yes, the rest is loaded, cut to order. Who knows? But yes.
Gemma says yes, so everything's all right.
Says yes. She's like the woman from Del Monte.
She is.
She says yes, only it's not to fruit, it's to fabric, which is far better. Sonia says good morning.
So there's quite a good amount of fabric in there.
There is. It's a big chunk. Cindy says, hello everyone from Yeovil, Australia. Hope everybody is happy and healthy. Yeah, we are, thank you.
Thank you.
And Megan loves your wall hanging.
Thank you, Megan.
And Ali says, good morning all. Lisa, I can't read the rest of it. Oh, Gemma says, defo not on a cruise, too nauseous.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Jane, is this going to be the demo of all demos?
It could be. We'll try and make it as quickly as possible. I'm going to go over not as quickly as possible, but I'm going to go over the key points. So we're going to make one flower, one leaf and stalk. We'll talk about flying geese because I don't think I had enough fabric to make the flying geese with.
I'm going to shut up, which will please everyone. I'm going to go and sit in my corner. I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you get on with it.
Okay.
All right.
Lovely.
Do your thing. Over to you, Jane.
Thank you. So let's start with the flower. Now, there is a free pattern from Macawa using Renee's fabric, but we didn't have the full collection and the quilt was massive. And I was going on holiday.
So there you go. That's the long and the short of it.
I took some inspiration from the quilt pattern. So it's not completely my design, but basically it is. Mostly it is. You're going to get your instructions. Mine are in black and white. You've got a lot of cutting. And Jane, some of the sizes are similar. So I do recommend as you cut each piece, you maybe pin it with a label, just so that you know, or put it in a little bag.
Jane, this is 17 pages.
Yeah, it's a big pattern.
No, it's fine. Just know that you get great value for money with our pattern.
Yes, you do. You get lots, all the step-by-step. I mean, I printed black and white to save ink this morning, but you get all your step-by-steps.
Well done, Jane.
To and then your bit about finishing it off. So, yeah, 17 pages. I sent the instructions over to Gemma and I said, I'm really sorry. There's something like 43 pictures.
Yeah. But do you know what, Jane? I'll be really honest. I bought a pattern, an actual pattern the other day, because there was something I really wanted to make. And I got it. Can I understand it?
No.
I have no idea how to make this thing whatsoever, and I've been making for years.
Yeah.
Now I've been in the industry for nearly a decade. doing sewing, my own channel for 4 years.
Yeah.
And I looked at this pattern, I'm like, I have no clue. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're referring to. There were spelling errors all over the place. And I'm just like, what a waste of money. And it cost the same as one of our patterns. And I was just going to throw it in the bin. Because I'm not going to make it.
No.
It's just going to sit there taunting me, telling me that I'm stupid. And I don't need that negativity in my life, quite frankly.
No.
So 40 odd pictures so that you can actually achieve something. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I think, well, we both agree, don't we, that we like our patterns to be the sort of pattern that somebody that's never made anything before can pick it up and do it.
Yes.
So although this is probably not a beginner quilt, although the piece in itself is not difficult, there's a lot of pieces to it, and they're quite similar in size, so it's about organisation.
Yes.
Take your time with your cutting.
Can I say
each piece?
My P thing,
Yeah.
prior and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Chris is like, can we just do this over 2 demos? We'll see how far we get.
I don't think we'll need 2 demos, to be honest, Chris.
Your patterns are always fabulous.
Thank you.
Lots of photos.
Right, so let's start with the flowers. I'll work my way through and hope I've cut everything. If I haven't, I've got bits left over. These are my bits left over, and I've also cut my prep. So you can see on some of the fabrics you have quite a bit left over. So
You could EPP yourself a matching pin cushion, couldn't you?
yeah, or a little cushion. I also thought, you know, the flower itself, the flower in the flower box we're calling it, you could make that into a nice cushion, couldn't you?
Oh, nice.
Just that bit.
Yeah.
You know, if you just wanted to have a go at doing the flowers.
I love a window box. I've got herbs in mine on the windowsill in the kitchen.
That's nice.
And spring onions.
Oh,
So I just chop the tops off my spring onions, whack them in my soup, and away we go. They're always growing and always fresh.
that's nice. That's a lovely idea, isn't it? Because you've always, like you say, you've always got it then.
Well, I used to have herbs growing outside, and then we got Reuben.
Yeah.
So no pot is safe.
Bless
From a Great Dane.
Oh.
Nikki says, I love your patterns, never had any issues. Thanks. Sophie's here, Genevieve's here, everybody's here.
As I say, I've got all sorts of bits here, so, you know, we'll work our way through and we'll see how we get on.
All right.
You have got...
Me.
Yeah, you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you.
Uh-oh.
You've got a lovely set of alphabet templates.
Well, you know, when anybody starts, you've got a lovely... in my head...
Did you just go, bunch of coconuts?
Yes,
Yes.
always, every time. I'm now disappointed that it's just an alphabet, because I do, you know, I'd like a lovely bunch of
I
coconuts.
used to do my
did?
bloom lettering.
Yes, you did.
I
Jen.
have traced around these and they'll come with the pattern.
Yes.
But I also thought,
Uh-oh.
because I do this when I'm
Thinking.
thinking
You do that
you
thinking.
could personalise it in that flower box bit.
Oh, nice.
If you were making it for somebody to hang on their door, maybe, as a door hanging.
Oh, nice.
Because
Yeah,
we've done door hangings. We
lovely.
did the pirate one, didn't we?
That would look lovely in a kitchen.
Yeah. It's just a kitchen on it.
Or welcome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you could get the alphabet templates and just change
Yeah.
it around.
I have been corrected. I stand corrected. I'm sitting down. I sit down corrected, Jane. It's 18 pages
18 pages.
with
Gemma
the bloom
would
on
know.
the back.
Yes, because
Yeah.
she would know.
And it's now digital.
Oh, fabulous.
Now live.
That's good. Gemma's proofread it. I didn't get to proofread it this morning, so I'm...
You have proofreading blindness like I
Yeah,
do. I can't
well,
proofread my own. It has to go to
I
somebody else.
do... I write it, and then I go through, as I'm sending the photographs to Gemma, I go through each step to check that the picture matches. And so it does get read again. But also, because I know what I mean,
Yeah.
I don't always see what I've said.
Yeah.
So Gemma proofreads it, and quite often she'll say, "Did you mean that?" And I'm like, "No, that's not what I meant."
Not even remotely. But good-o.
So yeah, it does get proofread by Gemma, and sometimes we go over it again as well. But we didn't get a chance this morning. Right, so let's start with the flower. Let's start with the flower. There's some quite tiny pieces to start with. like inch squares. And as I said, you're going to have pieces that look quite similar. So yeah, organisation is the key. You've got your centre square and then you've got 4 little squares. And we're going to, we've marked a diagonal from corner to corner, and we're going to place those in opposite corners so that the diagonal line cuts off the corner basically. And we're going to sew on the line. So we're going to put them right sides together and sew on the line.
Oh, you might have to retrieve the foot.
Yes, just called walkabouts.
It's not even a walking foot, Jane.
No.
And yet.
You can pin this if you feel that you need to, but with them being such small pieces, I thoroughly recommend that you prep your fabric with your best press, your flatter, your spray starch, purely because you've got little pieces and you are going to be doing things on the diagonal, so it'll stabilise your fabric. Once you've got the opposite sides sewn, you're going to just press that triangle back to form the square. Now you can trim it off if you want to, but really with tiny pieces like this it's hardly worth it. So just press it over. And obviously when you're doing with a bias you are literally just pressing it. Try not to iron it. And then we're going to do the opposite side. So we're making a snowball really. And that's the centre of your flower. So, and again we'll just take that over to the ironing board and we'll just press those little triangles back to reform the square. And then using the same colour, it's the first round of your flower. So we've got like a blue, a yellow and an orange flower. So the colour that goes in the centre is the same as your first round. And we're then going to put the 2 pieces, rectangles either side. And this is where you have to keep switching your machine from 1/4 of an inch to in the middle.
That would be the bit that I forget.
Yeah, and it's very easy to forget. Lining that up. If your triangle's gone a little bit wonky, you can always trim your square back down to the size that it should be. And we're going to press those away from the centre. Oh. Going too fast for the...
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up.
Now then, we've got the top and bottom row, but before we put those on, we're going to take a triangle of the next row, or a square rather, and again we've got 4 squares of the same fabric as the next row, and we're going to place those on each end of the top and bottom rectangle with the diagonal line. We've marked a diagonal line facing in towards the middle, so we're basically going across the corners again, but we're facing them into the middle. Again, you can pin this if you want to, and they are quite small pieces. Now when I start, I don't start right on the corner. You need to put your needle back into the middle. I don't start right on the edge because there's a danger of it being swept into your machine, but you can use a little bit of fabric to sew onto if you prefer.
Do you know what, Jane?
Your donkey or your leader or ender, whatever you want to call it.
I had forgotten about that because I've used my semi-industrial for so long. When I switched back to my DX, I'd completely forgotten that was a thing because it's only got a tiny hole on the industrial.
Yeah, because it just does a straight stitch, so there's no reason to have a bigger gap.
You don't need any swing.
No. And we're going to press those back, and again, you can trim them if you want to, but I really don't think you need to. Just push them back to reform the rectangle. And you're going to do that on both pieces. So just making sure that your diagonal line faces into the middle on both ends.
Yes.
It's quite easy to forget and think you just could sew in the corner off.
Just looking in the chat, Claire said a friend of hers had a Great Dane puppy, but it was already the size of a small horse with the speed to match. He knocked her over like a bowling ball on pins down an alley, broke her wrist and hand.
Oh dear.
That's why Roo is a rescue, because they're not for everyone.
No, and you do need to have the space for them.
Yeah. Sue, you've just nudged me there. Did you send me an updated copy of that? Have I missed it in my inbox? Because I can do that. If I get busy, I look at something and go, must come back to that, and then completely forget to.
And so you place these now so that the longer edge of the fabric for the middle is against the centre.
Nice.
So again, it's forming that sort of snowball effect, and you'll attach those to the top and bottom. Remembering to take it back to your 1/4 inch.
Can you chain piece any of these so that with your needle in the same position?
Once you've done the first flower, I think, once you've got the first flower done and you know the system,
And do your belt,
you can do the other two. You could chain piece those because you'll have cut all, hopefully you'll work in a systematic way and you'll have cut all your fabric first.
Yeah.
And you can just do that. Quite easy to do.
No, you see, Jane, I'm looking at... I think it's just sinking in for me now that this is some of the last of the Lisa that we'll get.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, maybe I want to keep some.
It's quite sad.
A bit sad.
It is, yeah. Because
what if I can't blackmail her?
We've had it, haven't we, from the beginning, if you like, really, pretty early on from Natasha Makes starting. So it's been sort of like one of our staple fabrics along with our plains. So we sort of see it every day and we get to use it in lots of different things, in lots of different ways. And it's suddenly you think, oh, I'm not going to be able to use that anymore.
Yeah.
Which is quite...
Really taking it for granted, I think.
It's very easy to do that. Right, so we've got the next round and we do the same thing. So we've got our 2 pieces that go either side. We'll get those on.
Chris, she says it's so clever how it builds up from the centre. Yeah. Jane's a clever old stick.
It's quite forgiving as well, this pattern, because it's got that sort of primitive folk arty look to it.
Which
so it doesn't matter if it's not quite symmetrical or it seems a bit wonky. It's quite nice. We're going to press those away from the centre. I think pressing your seams away from the centre at this point is always going to give you a better finish.
Megan on YouTube says, some patterns assume knowledge and use terminology which is so difficult to understand. We don't do that,
you spend half your time then Googling it, don't you, to understand what that method means.
Right, Jane, why do we sew?
For pleasure,
yes.
Supposedly.
Yeah, before this, why did we used to sew? Why did we start sewing?
As a hobby, for something to do in our spare time that gave us pleasure.
Right. So when it becomes non-pleasurable because you don't understand what the heck people are talking about.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not the one.
It's not fun, is it then?
No.
So we've got our outer border now.
Hang on.
We've got background squares to put on. So this is the background fabric, this beautiful cream fabric. And again, we've got squares with the diagonal lines, and we're going to put those on facing towards the middle of the long edge of the strip.
Now, Jane.
Yes.
That beautiful Lewis and Irene backing fabric that you've got.
Yeah.
I very nearly didn't buy it.
Didn't you?
No, not because I don't love it, but because it's so hard to see the pattern on our cameras under the lights. So there are lots of white on white fabrics out there that are incredibly beautiful, and our suppliers are just starting to understand that we buy in a very different way here.
Yes.
We buy A, for what I love,
Yeah.
and B, what will show up under the cameras. We've had to learn from mistakes. We've had really beautiful fabrics, but they haven't shown up properly under the lights, under the cameras, and you've got to see it up close.
Yeah, that's true. And this fabric is a good example of that, really.
So you're just going to have to believe us that it's fabulous. And if you want something that is subtle but intricate, then you can get this by the half metre for your backing fabrics. And it's a super wide. What do we mean by that? We mean 107 inches, which is about 270 something centimetres wide.
It's a beautiful fabric, and you could use it for backing your quilts.
It's
Lewis and Irene, so it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful cloth. This sort of fabric would make nice tablecloths as well, because it's sort of got that, it's not got a damasky feel to it, but it's got a damasky look to it.
And it's got bees all over it.
And it's got beautiful bees, so it'll look lovely. So again, now I did trim this end one away just because I felt that the pattern underneath might show through.
Oh, okay.
And that was the only reason. I mean, because it's double layered, it probably wouldn't show through, but I didn't want to risk it, so I did trim it. So I just placed my 1/4 inch mark of my ruler on that corner and trimmed it away from that seam. And just remember that you are trimming the corner off, and don't try and do it the other way, because you'll cry. Ask me how I know.
Oh, Jane! We sew for fun.
Oh, we do.
We sew for fun.
And then you're going to press those away to reform the triangle. Reform the rectangle, I should say. Push the triangle up to reform the rectangle.
Oh, Jane, I've just got to take this phone call because it's the kids' school.
Okay.
So I'm just going to leave you on that overhead.
Righty-ho. Righty-ho. So we're going to sew those onto the top and the bottom. Again, just making sure that we're back with our 1/4 inch. Just lining it up, and again you can pin this if it makes you feel more comfortable. I tend not to pin because I'm usually in a bit of a hurry and trying to get it finished, but you know, we've just said you're doing it for the fun of it, so if you want that feeling of comfort, I suppose, really, and sureness, is you can pin it. And we're just going to press those away from the outside edge, and that is pretty much your flower made. Okay, and you'll do 3 of those in your different colourways, and you'll see on mine when you look at the actual, we've got a picture of, no, we haven't, we've got the picture of the, I know mine's in black and white, but you can see that the flowers are at different heights. Now the leaf part helps to make that, but I've also added in some plain at the top and bottom of each one, and each strip is described in there so you'll know how to do that. So we're going to make the leaf now, and you'll need 2 pieces of your green. They're rectangles. Now this is where I might need to cut a couple of pieces because I haven't got what I need. Let's have a look at what we need to do.
What you need, Jane? What you need?
I need to cut some of my... There we go. I need a 2-inch square. Now then, I thought I'd cut 2-inch squares.
You might have done, but there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, there is. So we've got some of the backing fabric here. I'm just going to cut myself a 2-inch strip. Now I'm cutting mine the opposite way than I would do normally. Normally I'd cut it from selvage to cut edge with a fat quarter, but I'm just, for quickness, I'm going to cut it the other way.
So the thing is, because you've got lots of bits left over,
yes,
here and there.
I've got all sorts, and obviously because I'm only doing one flower, just to show you how to put it together, I'm cutting less than I need to cut.
So Emily has managed to come up in a rash.
Oh, gosh.
All the way up both arms.
Oh no.
Really weird, itchy red rash. Like, is that something you were aware of? And no.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not.
Bless her. She's quite sensitive, isn't she, to changes in detergent and...
I haven't changed the detergent though. I'm racking my brains trying to think what it is.
It might be an external thing because of the pollens and stuff like that at the moment.
Well, she was trying to do some gardening, and I'm just wondering if she's rubbed up against something she shouldn't have.
Yeah, easily done, isn't it?
Because she was trying to weed and pull stuff out with her hands, and I did say to her last night, that's an irritant, don't pull that up.
Yeah.
But that was with her hands, and I don't think it went up her arms. So no one tells you when you become a parent that you have to also be part sleuth.
Yeah. And pharmaceutical and
what the heck they've been up to, and it's like, now, was this something you were aware of? No.
Because if I had been, she wouldn't be.
She'd have had some Piriton and then be sent on her way into school. But of course, they won't give her Piriton now she's in school.
No.
Oh
dear. Bless her. So we've got a large square and a small square, and we need 2 of each, I've just realised, because we've got 2 leaves.
She's had a magic cold compress, Jane, so she'll be happy.
Oh, that's all right then. Paper towel in cold water works every time.
Compress.
Works every time. And again, we're going to mark a diagonal line on these, corner to corner. I like to start in the middle and go out when I'm doing my diagonal line, just because you might stretch your fabric. But as I say, if you've prepped your fabric with your starch product, then you'll be fine. So
don't rush this on Emily's account. They're going to stick her in craft corner, where they know she'll be happy until I can get there. So don't worry.
So we're going to, on the one leaf, we're going to place the little square in the top right hand corner, and we're going to sew on that diagonal line.
On the line?
On the line. Now we can either just press that back, or we can trim it and press it back, whichever you prefer. And then we're going to place the larger square in the opposite bottom corner, so that's in the bottom left hand corner, and again we're going to go across the on the line diagonal. I'm going to trim that one off. We'll press those. So that's what we're going to call our left-hand leaf.
Lefty.
Lefty left.
The lefty leaf.
And so for the right-hand one, we're going to place the squares on the other side. So your little square goes in your top left-hand corner. And your large square goes in your bottom right-hand corner. And you'll make 3 of each left-hand and right-hand leaf, because you're going to need 6 leaves altogether, 3 left-hand, 3 right-hand leaves for your whole project. Press those back. So you've got a left hand and a right hand leaf. Now we've got strips here that are the same length as your leaf.
So if you can basically do a sort of snowbally situation, then you can do all of these.
Yes.
Oh, easy.
It's not a difficult pattern. They're very basic shapes. You know, if you've made half square triangles and flying geese, you're going to be okay. It's just, I think the thing with this pattern is you just need to be prepared and make sure you're organised with it, because you've got so many pieces, if you like.
Yeah.
That you could get yourself in a muddle if you didn't keep yourself organised.
Have you done all the cutting instructions at the start?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So I've listed all the fabrics. We've told you which fabric is which, and then for each fabric I've told you what you need to cut from each one.
Okay.
So we've put that strip. Now we've put the strip on the left hand side of the left leaf and the right hand side of the right leaf. So you've got, that is your leaf unit in effect. And then on each stem, I've placed my leaf in different positions, just to give a variation, really. So for flower 1, we're calling the orange flower 1, we've got a strip that we place at the top and the bottom, but I've placed the narrow strip at the top and the wider strip at the bottom of the left hand leaf, and then opposite on the right hand leaf. And it's just a case of sewing those to the top and the bottom of your strip, of your leaf. So again, once you know what you're doing with this, you've got the opportunity for chain piecing.
Chris says you definitely have to label all of these, but that's it, isn't it? And
yeah, I was going to say, it's not really the end of the world, is it, having to label everything? You know, you can do a little sticker that you stick on the top of the pile. You can put a pin in it with a label stuck to the pin. You could put them in little bags that you've already labelled on the bag.
Chris is asking how you quilted it.
How I quilted it?
Yeah.
I just did very simple quilting around the shapes.
Right.
I had got grand ideas about how I wanted to do it, but ran out of time.
That is the story of our lives, isn't it?
I mean, I think I'd like to do a little bit of hand quilting, like make like a spiral in the middle of the flower centres, and do some on the leaves as well to make the stems and stuff.
I would be putting seed beads in the middle as
I mean, you can have all
like
sorts of fun with it, can't you? So we've got our left hand leaf there and our right hand leaf there, and then we've got a strip of our fabric that is to get the right size strip. You're going to cut 3 different sizes, you see, and you need the right size strip for your stalk.
Chris says, I should have been given a paper compress because that's all they're allowed to do to help her.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? That is, and you feel really useless. And I totally get it. Josh has gone to get her. She'll be back in a minute.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah.
She'll be organising the warehouse when she comes back.
She will be. Our favourite thing to do is to get her to sort out the magnetic clasps, isn't it?
Yeah.
So because we get them in great big packets, and then she puts them into that. Oh, Chris says yes. She said I was thinking the same, hand quilting.
The thing is, you can do as much or as little as you want to on it. You can have really good fun with it, and it's a nice size to practice your free motion on. Perfect. Because it's not, it's not big and unwieldy.
Under your machine nicely.
Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it?
So we're sewing each leaf block to either side of the stem piece, which is just a strip of fabric at the end of the day. And I think once you've done all your cutting, and there's not loads of cutting. I mean, I've made it sound like you've got loads and loads to do. There isn't loads. You'll get it made quite quickly, the quilt half.
Yeah. It's nice and it's an interesting one, and you've got lots of different things to have a go at.
Yes,
it's almost like a sampler, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's. I think you've got that opportunity to. You've got that opportunity to have a go at some little different techniques, so it sort of expand your skills, but without being too much. Do you know, sometimes it's like, oh gosh, there's so much to do on this. I don't know if I want to do all of that.
But so that's come together an absolute treat, Jane.
It's just a case now of sewing the stem unit to the flower, and as I say, on this one, there's a little piece of the background fabric at the top. The next flower is slightly smaller, so that has a bigger piece, and then the third flower is the full size. So you can have fun. You don't have to do it the same colourways I've done it. You can change your colours around. You're going to put a strip of your background fabric in between. So it will go in between each flower. So that gives a bit of a gap between, so the spacing. And then you've got a strip either side. So you'll join your 3 flowers together with the strip in between, and then you'll put your 2 strips either side. They're slightly wider. And that makes your flower unit, if you like, the 3 flowers. So again, it's not difficult. It's just take your time, follow the pattern, make sure you've got all your cutting done. It'll make it quicker in the long run. And then if we do, I'll show you how to do the applique, because there may be some of you that have not done bonded applique before.
Nice.
You cut your piece of fabric that you're going to do the flower box with. Fold it in half to find the middle. And then with your, I've used an iron away marker. Now just test it before you use any marker that it's going to come off. If your using a wash away or a fade away marker, maybe not on this fabric because you're going to iron it, and when you iron those markers they become permanent. So you want a chalk marker or your iron away one, but if you're going to use an iron away one, just test it on a bit first to make sure it doesn't leave a ghost mark. To trace your, as I say, we've given you the word bloom in the pattern. You're going to place your bonder web. You've got a paper side and a rough side. The rough side is the adhesive side. So you're going to trace your pattern onto the paper side. You can use a pencil or a pen. And it is, I have put it back to front on the template so you don't have to worry about reversing it or anything, because you need it in reverse. So once you've got that done, you'll place your rough side, the adhesive side, to the wrong side of your fabric that you're going to use for your lettering. And you iron that down onto the reverse of your fabric. Uses a dry iron, you don't need steam or anything like that.
No, it's not like steamer seam.
No. And then you'll cut your letters out. So then you cut them on that marked line. So a nice sharp pair of scissors, maybe not your best fabric scissors, but your second best. But as long as they're nice and sharp.
And a big pair as well.
Yeah, a nice big
Makes
pair.
a difference.
And just...
Because if you use a little pair, you're always going to be chop, 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 chop.
Yeah, you're going to do lots of little cuts, and that might just make your fabric fray slightly. It shouldn't, because it's bonded, so it tends not to fray too much.
Gemma has just sent a message saying that she has loaded into today's collection all of the bolt ends that we have left. A lot sold yesterday, but
There are a few.
there's also some tilde bolt ends and all
Is there?
sorts. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yes, Jane. Oh yes.
So I've just folded that, to get those middle sections of the bee, I folded it in half and snipped into the gap. And then I can get my scissor into that, and then I can just snip in and snip that centre shape out. And again, you can take a bit more time with this when you're doing it, because it's quite nice doing a bit of cutting out like this.
Bit of cutting and sticking.
It's a bit like colouring, isn't it?
Yes.
It's quite mindful.
Yes.
So once you cut your shapes out, and you cut all your letters out that you're going to use, whether you're going to personalise it, put welcome, put kitchen, whatever you feel like you'd like to do, you're then going to take the paper side off your shape. Now, I always take a pin and just rub it into the paper somewhere in the middle until the pin the sharp part of the pin goes under the paper and the paper starts to lift. And then I can pull it off. Don't try and get on the edge and get your nail underneath it and pull it and flick it, because you'll just end up fraying your fabric, which doesn't give you a nice finish. So that comes off. They can be a bit staticky, so. And then you'll just place your letters on using that centre line to centre the word. Just line it up, and then you can place that on that marked line that you've done so that you know that it's nice and straight. And when you've got that placed in the way you want to do it, you'll then iron that down in place. And then I over sewed it, so I did straight stitch around the edge, quite close to the edge, but you could do zigzag, satin stitch, button stitch, blanket stitch.
Yeah.
You could do it by hand, whichever you prefer.
I think it's one of those things that And, you know, we talk about personal preference, don't we, a lot?
Yes.
But if it's one that's going to be a wall hanging, sometimes you don't even need
No, because if you're not going to wash
to
it
do
quite
that much.
regularly, you know, if it's not going to be somewhere where it's going to need washing all the time, you don't actually need to sew it over at all.
No.
It will, over time, and we're talking a long time, the adhesive will come undone. So it is best to stitch over it, but
Yeah.
you don't have to if you're not going to be washing it a lot.
No, exactly.
So once you've got your lettering on and you've sewn those down, now once I've ironed that on, I will iron my interfacing onto the back, just to cover the back of the letters before I sew it, and it just sort of
stabilises.
Yeah, it just stabilises it. It's all in the instructions.
So Jane, you would sew around those with the interfacing on, but not with the backing and everything on, because you could do that as part of your quilting, could you, or no?
Well, I would. You could. I got plans to go around the letters when I was quilting.
Already got plans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've sewn it on, put the interfacing on the back, then sewn around the letters, and then once I got it quilted, I'd got an idea that I would echo quilt around the letters, just to give it a bit more depth. And then you're just going to frame this with your darker fabric, so strip top and bottom, and then side and side, and that will give the frame. And then you put 2 pieces of your backing. This is too long, but you've got wider pieces of your background fabric that you put either side. And then you sew that. You'll have a strip of fabric in between your flowers.
No, you haven't.
No, you don't.
They're coming straight out at the bottom.
Your flowers go straight onto there, and then when you've got that on, then you'll put a strip top and bottom of your flowers. Pinwheels are half square triangles, so we can just talk about half square triangles. Make those, show you how to make the pinwheel block. They're squares. I like my 2 7/8 inch, but if you don't, you want to take it up to the next inch, that's fine, and then trim it down, that's okay. I've used the same flower fabric as I used in the petals.
It's pretty, actually, really pretty.
Background square, fabric square, same size, diagonal line, corner to corner, and then we'll sew 1/4 inch either side of those lines. Yeah, and 1/4 inch, there we go. So we're just going to sew either side of that marked line. It's funny because I was reading a thread the other day and they were talking about half square triangles, and people were saying, oh, they didn't like the 7/8 of an inch. And I thought, well, that's fine, because you just take it up to the next inch, sew it like this, and then you can trim it down to the size of the square that you need. So it's I've just got used, because I always had to I was taught to use 7/8 of an inch. I've got used to doing it, so I don't...
It's that elusive size, isn't it?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I think some people, if you're not used to inches as well, 7/8 seems a bit of a strange measurement.
But I just go to the next inch and then come back.
Yeah, it's easy to do. Because your ruler is divided into 1/8 of an inch anyway, it's quite straightforward. So we're cutting those squares in half now on that marked line, and that produces two pairs of squares, produces 4 half square triangles. I'm going to press those on the dark side, so the seam sits under the dark side. So little rule of thumb here, that if you place your fabric that you want the seam to be underneath on top, and you fold that back, your seam is always going to be underneath the darker side. So with the dark fabric on the top. And there you've got 4 half square triangles. you need to sew these together so that you've got, when you put them right sides together, you've got your pattern fabric on top of your background and your background on top of your pattern.
Okay.
So when you look at them, the seams are going in towards the middle.
Yeah.
And you do those into pairs. Now, because you've pressed the seams to the dark side, you can nestle that seam.
Nice.
And that'll give you a nice points. And you can do that with both pieces, so you'll get a nice bit of chain piecing going on. And I mean, you've got to make 2 of each of the colour pinwheels, so you can do those all together at the same time.
Now we haven't bound ours yet.
No.
But that you've got in your kit, you've got your binding in there, which is a lovely deep tealy green.
It's the deep teal green, which sort of, I felt it picked up the green, the deep teal within the dark colours there, which is quite nice. And I think I like to have a darker frame. It like frames it, finishes it off.
It is like framing a picture, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's effectively all it is.
So again, I've pressed the seams to the darker triangle, and you're going to place those 2 triangles now together on top, so that the seams again are facing each other. And because we've done that with the pressing the seams, we've got that locking, but you can also make sure that they're locked on the sides as well. They nestle all together. And that, hopefully, she says confidently, live on air, will mean that all your points will come together in the middle nice and crisply.
So would you wait to trim this back until it's done as a full pinwheel?
If I was trimming back, I would trim the squares back first.
The squares back, okay.
Yeah. But you can see there, that's brought all of those
Perfect.
into nicely. You can also do the twiddle in the middle.
Everyone loves a twiddle in the middle.
So I'll just use a pin for this. We unpick the seam up to the seam that goes across. So it's the one that went straight up there and on this side, there and there. Just those couple of stitches. And then you can fold the one seam up and the other seam down. And you get a little pinwheel going on inside, underneath as well. Just like that.
Just like that.
Just
Right,
like
Tommy
that.
Cooper.
But that also reduces the bulk in the middle. So when you come to quilt it, if you were going to quilt through the middle along there, you've got less bulk to try and get over in that middle bit.
Now, we have not had a twiddle in the middle for quite some time.
No, we
Jane.
haven't, have we?
No.
So
I
that's-
feel this is good.
Yeah. And then you've got your flying geese. Now, I hadn't got enough of the fabric left over to demonstrate my method, but it's the 1 large square, 4 small squares. We've done that method lots of times. It's very concisely put in here step by step so you can see. But it makes you 4 flying geese at a time, and you need 6 for each border. So you do that 3 times. Get 12 flying geese units, which you put 6 together at the top and 6 together at the bottom. And I've done it so that the darker triangle faces in towards the hanging. So
Yes.
the bottom row faces up and the top row faces down.
Perfect.
But again, that's personal preference. You can have a look at it and change it round, make it your own.
Now, Jane,
Yes.
do you have a plan for next week?
I think we might have a plan for next week, have we?
Which plan? Because we have an option of 2 plans.
Yeah.
Which plan would you
Are we
like to do
doing
next
the
week?
workshop plan to...
Right. Now, we have an option.
Right.
Because Jane is going to start doing workshops.
Yes.
Now that we've done my workshop,
Yeah, we've experimented with Natasha.
Yeah, little did they know that they were actually experimental fodder. So now that we have successfully completed our first Zoom workshop, and it worked, and we did it, and it was all good, and we all got out alive. It's all good. We have now got to the end. We've now reached the point where we go, okay, we can now offer workshops with Jane on Zoom. Something we've wanted to do for a very long time, because you are an awesome teacher.
Well, thank you.
And I know that actually that's kind of what you prefer rather than doing live TV shows.
Yes.
Yeah. So to facilitate this, we're going to do a block of the month with you.
Yeah.
Now, it's going to be along the lines of a subscription. Again, because of the new platform that we have for subscriptions, you can sign up, and if it's not for you, you can cancel.
Yeah.
It's up to you. It will be using all these cameras, so it'll be under this setup.
Yeah.
Like we did our Zoom. So those of you that did the Zoom before, the Zoom workshop on Monday with me, it's going to be that. It will be in place of one of your live shows.
Yes.
It will be on one of those, because they are your working hours.
Yes.
And it would be really unfair to get you in here in an evening. But it will be recorded, and it will then go into... So if you are already a Natasha Makes Design member, then you know we have a membership area where these videos go. And the same will happen for Jane's, only it's going to be a block of the month. And when you are a subscriber, you get access to that to create the whole block of the month.
Yeah. We're going to start from the beginning. So we're going to look at the very basics and build our skill level up. So for those of you that have been wanting to make a quilt for a while and have thought, oh, I don't know if I can do this, we're going to do it from the beginning. So we'll talk about prepping your fabric and cutting your fabric, and then we'll do a very straightforward block with that principle, and then we'll work our way up.
Yes.
Building up skills.
So quilting with Jane is about to be a thing.
Yes.
What we will do today is put the kit together.
Yeah.
Now, we just need Josh to finish off a couple of things tech-wise to get the subscription up and running.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say you do the stack and whack next week.
Yeah.
And the week after we will launch with the workshop, because two things I've learnt from doing mine is give yourself an extra week to deal with Royal Mail's inability to deliver anything on time.
Yes, that's a good plan, yes.
So we will, and we'll do a little Facebook post for you to the link to buy the kit. The kits are going to be in plain fabrics.
Yes.
Okay, if you want to quilt in your own choice of fabrics, then that's fine. But the membership won't include the fabrics. You can buy those kits, and we'll do them for you at a good nice price. We're doing a nice price.
Nice price for you, lady.
But just keep your eyes peeled on social media, and we will explain all of these. We will get an image of that quilt that we're going to make up on social media, because I know it's on your computer at the moment.
Yes.
So we'll get an image of that up on social media for you, so you can see what you would be making. And then we will get the kits up for you to buy. We'll tell you more about it in the newsletter, and links for you to get here, there and everywhere. But this is just to give you a heads up. So if you want to quilt along actually with Jane, then this is what we are going to do for you.
Amazing.
It's exciting times.
It is exciting.
Very exciting times. But we want to bring you workshops that are affordable, that are accessible.
It'll be nice, because if at any point you're watching me and you think, hang on, what did you mean? You can ask me, can't you, on the Zoom facility, which is lovely.
And what I discovered from doing ours on Monday was that actually I will go back and I will change a couple of things out of my pattern just because of the questions that I was asked.
Yes.
I was like, actually, I'll add a little bit more detail in.
Yeah.
So for us, it helps us teach better because we know the stumbling blocks.
Yes,
for
that's
you,
absolutely
so we can
right, yeah.
give those extra bits. So I always think that teaching helps us in lots of different ways.
Yeah. And also each block will be such that if you just want to make that block on its own,
you can repeat
it into a cushion or repeat it into a quilt session. Yeah.
It's entirely up to you. These are literally building blocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. So there we go. That is our. I feel like we should have had a fanfare or some sort of
Little drum
roll or
Yeah.
something. However, we didn't. So
Yeah. So stack and whack next week.
stack and whack next week. Now this is with a Lisa fabric that we've kept to one side
Yes.
for this project. I don't know if any of you remember the big Waratahs that Lisa brought with her. We've stashed a bit
Nice.
for such a purpose. And Jane's going to be stacking and whacking,
Yeah.
which always sounds painful. Or makes me think of an episode of The Simpsons where they go snake whacking. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's not that.
Nope.
It's Jane Stack and Whack. And so that's what we will do. Keep an eye on Facebook because we'll update you with all these things. We'll keep telling you about it because it's exciting.
Yes.
Otherwise, have a lovely rest of the day. Take a look at the bolt ends because you'll see Tilda ones in there. You'll see all sorts of ones in there.
Nice.
We need to go through and take out the ones that have sold so that you can actually see the ones that we have left because a lot sold yesterday.
Brilliant.
But Jane, thank you so much for bringing us something rather beautiful.
It's a pleasure.
And we will see you all on Monday when normal 3 show weeks will resume.
Resume.
Yes, take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.